I'm really excited to be here. I have certain notes on my phone. If I forget anything, I'll just refer, so please. Okay. I'll briefly share what I do and who I am. Basically, my name is Amit Agarwal and I come from Agra, the city of the Taj Mahal. I'm a computer science engineer by education, but I've been blogging for the last 10 years now. The blog name is, mostly people know me online as Labnol, and that's a blog that mostly publishes tips and tutorials around basic stuff, how-to guides, and very simple stuff. I started writing Digital Inspiration, that's the blog name, in 2004, so it's almost 10 years that I've been blogging now. A lot of things have changed in these 10 years. When I started blogging, there wasn't enough bloggers around the world, and especially in India, so there were not enough competition, so you could easily make a mark. Now it's very, very difficult, as you guys know. It was such beautiful photography, so it's truly international class, and which is very, very good. Also, when I started, people could only subscribe to blogs through email newsletters or through RSS feed. But probably those communication mediums are dead now, and now it's Twitter and Facebook mostly. So people can subscribe to blogs through Twitter and Facebook. But at that time, when you wrote something interesting, people had those blog roles and link roles. So if you wrote something interesting, they would probably link to you and tell your audience about your great stuff. But now if you find something interesting, you probably tweet it or you probably share it on Facebook. Now, what happens is this kind of social activity brings a sudden spike in traffic to your blog if some, what we call social influencer does that. But in the long run, it doesn't add really any value because these channels have a very short half-life. You notice a spike and then they kind of disappear. So, what do I talk here? Coming back to my blog, I'm just a regular tech blogger like most people here are, except that probably I've been in this space for a little longer, so that is the reason why I am here. And they wanted me to share some secrets, some tips that will probably take your blog to the next level. And you feel a little disappointed, but frankly speaking, there are no secrets, right? There's no magic wand that will take your blog to the next level. I think in my case, it's just a combination of a lot of good work, a lot of good luck, and some hard work and probably dedication. In one of my recent interviews with Lifehacker, they asked me how I work, and I used two terms. I said I work enthusiastically and I work diligently. I think this attitude has helped me going all these years. So when I wake up, I'm always thinking of my website. I'm always thinking of ways to improve it, and I'm always thinking of ways to take it to the next level. So this kind of attitude has probably helped me keep going for all these years. So today what I will do is, I think I have 20-25 minutes. So probably in my own style, I'll try to walk you through 20 tips that will probably help take your blog to the next level. Some of you are advanced bloggers, so you probably know them already, but some of you may find them useful. So let's get started. This is giving me problems. Okay. First thing first, can I have a quick show of hands? How many of you people are on Blogger? See, this is my first advice. Please move away from Blogger if you want to take your blog to the next level. Blogger is actually a very good platform, and they make it really easy. It involves no technical details, and they have really good templates. But the problem is, if you really want to take your blog to the next level, you've got to move out of Blogger. There are several reasons why I say that. One is from the search perspective. On Blogger as a platform, it blocks everything from search engines that is not a blog post. So if you have pages around labels, what we call tags and categories, we have labels in Blogger, they are all blocked in search engines. So you are kind of missing an opportunity to improve your footprint in the search organic results. So that is the number one reason why you got to move away from Blogger. The other reason you got to move is tomorrow if you want to move to another platform or if you want to repurpose your content into, say, if you have a lot of recipes that you want to repurpose into an ebook, it's very, very difficult to tickle with the backend, so it's very difficult to take out content from Blogger and repurpose it into something else. That's the third reason. But the third reason is that Blogger is a Google product, and all of you know that Google is known to mercilessly kill products, right? I'm not saying that Google will kill Blogger one day, but definitely Blogger is a distraction for Google, right? They have killed Google Reader, they have killed Google Notebook, which were such popular products, right? I'm not saying that they will kill it one day, but if that happens, it's better to be safe, right? We can take up questions probably after the session, if you don't mind. No, the number one tip that everybody has for blogging is you've got to have great content, right? I agree with that. But it's not just about having great content. You've got to have a good and interesting way of writing as well that will probably interest readers. It's not just about content. Your writing skills matter as well. Now, good writing comes as a gift to a lot of us, but not to most of us. So for that, what you need to do is you need to follow a couple of books. I have a list of books that I will list at the end of the slides, but the elements of styles, different things on writing, these are some really, really good books that will help you improve your writing style, especially for the web. And if you are writing, if you're using a regular WordPress editor or a blogging editor to write your blog, I would suggest use a proper word processor like Microsoft Word or Apple Pages, because these are the word processing editors that will actually highlight your typos and grammatical errors, because you don't want them to go on the actual blog. They look really, really embarrassing. The other thing that I would suggest is you get some style guide. You have the New York Times style usage guide, you have the Associated Press style book. So what these style books will help you is, they will help you develop a consistent style of writing. Basically, these books have a collection of accepted rules for journalists for writing, right? And there is no reason why you cannot have those same rules for writing your own blog. The third point that I would like to make is, do not imitate someone when you're writing. You know, people are following your blog because they like your writing style, they like your overall style, and you do not have to follow someone else's style. I'll try to give you an example here. There's a very popular this guy in US. He produces videos around gadgets, and every video that he produces, he ends that video with the word peace, right? Suddenly I'm seeing a lot of blogs in India following the same. They're also ending that video with the word peace. Why? That's not required. You've got to have your own writing style. You don't have to imitate someone on the internet. Now, obviously, you know that headlines are the most important part of any blog post that you write. I would say that if I'm writing something, probably 80% of the time goes in thinking about what my headline should be. It's important because headlines shows up in search engines, it shows up in your RSS readers, it shows up on social media accounts, everywhere. Now, headlines are very, very important, but suddenly what has happened is these BuzzFeed and Upworthy style headlines have really picked up on the internet. So this is why the iPhone watch is not round, or this is the only Google search results page that you want to see, right? You see a lot of these headlines all over the internet now. Now the problem with these headlines is they definitely drive a lot of page views to your blog, but what happens is when the person who is visiting your blog, he has a very high expectation. He feels that I will see something really great, something really interesting, but when he sees the actual content, he's kind of disappointed. So what is the point in driving traffic that doesn't stay on your blog, right? It comes at least. You don't want that kind of traffic to your blog. So for that, for headlines, my suggestion would be write boring headlines. Headlines that may not be clever, headlines that may not be cute, but they accurately display what your content is all about. When people look at the headline of your blog post on, say, Twitter or Facebook or anywhere else, they should be able to accurately guess what your post is actually all about. Now, obviously, you know that there is a lot of noise on the internet, and especially in the blogging world, and there is a mad rush to report something as soon as it happens. Now, you have to think, are you really adding any value to the blogging world, or are you just contributing more noise to the echo chamber? Definitely, there are a lot of mainstream media websites and the big blogs that have to publish something as soon as it happens. But for the rest of us, can we really step back and think and say only something when we have something interesting to say, else we just stay away? I think that is the, you aren't losing anything if you aren't the first one to report a news. If you are not a big media or if you're not a big blog, I think you can just step back and only say when you have something more interesting to say. Well, when I talk of syndication, I mean two things here. One is guest blogging. Now, obviously, I think most of you know that guest blogging is a dead phenomenon, right? You should neither contribute to other people's work as guest blogs, neither you should accept them. I'm not saying that if you get an opportunity to write for a very authoritative site that you should neglect that opportunity, you should ignore that opportunity. But the 99% of guest blogging that happens in the blogging world is frankly for the purpose of gaining links. You feel that probably, okay, I'll get a link from this blog and that will help my search organic listings, and the other reason is probably some of their audience will come your way. That's not going to happen because most people on the internet have very short attention span. They look at a stuff, they scan it and then they leave. They're really not bothered who the author is. So you have wasted so much effort writing content for someone else, which you could have used under your own brand and boosted your own profile. Second thing is, as you grow, as you mature, as you grow popular on the internet, you will see that you will have the big sites, even the mainstream media websites contacting you. You know, they will come up with very good offers. We are really good fans of your work and we would like to take your work and put it on our site. You'll get very excited and say, okay, what do I get in return? Well, we don't have any budget, but we'll send you some traffic, we'll send you eyeballs, it will raise your profile in the internet. Frankly speaking, don't fall into these traps. If they don't have the budget, put them a very simple proposition. Say, oh, you don't have the budget? No problem. What we can do is we can have a two-way content partnership. You can take my content, I will take yours. Is that okay? Most people will back down, somebody agrees that's good, but you should never give away your content on the internet for free. Okay, was this after content syndication? Now, when you write something on the internet, you really want people to see. Now, how do you do that? If you write something good, it will automatically spread. You know, they say that cream always rises to the top. But the problem is, it may not happen very often. So you write something and you're waiting for the traffic to come. You're looking at your analytics logs and it's not picking up. So you're kind of disappointed. So what do? You send a pitch to people, right? You send a pitch to popular bloggers, or you send a pitch to social media influencers. You send a pitch to these mainstream media news websites. Now, when writing a pitch to these very busy guys, you've got to make sure that it is relevant to their domain, it's very short, and you should not do it very frequently. Now, that's one way of doing it, but to be very frank, these social media influencers or these big blogs are really busy and they're never going to look at your email. So you know what you should do? You should actually look at your content and see the similar content you have written in the past and look at who has commented on those stories, who has shared those stories on the blog. They may not be the social influencers, but they may be big fans of your work. You should probably pitch it to them, and they will really happily spread your content on the internet, and they will be real evangelists for your content. So instead of going after the big boys, you should probably focus on people who already love your content because they will happily spread it more. Now this is the biggest problem with the blogs, right? Especially with tech blogs. Let's take the case of Orkut, right? I used to write a lot of stuff on Orkut because it was the most popular social network, and suddenly Orkut is gone, and there is a lot of stuff lying in my blog that's totally irrelevant. Now what do? Now you have two options. Definitely if you are a law firm, if you are into the legal business, or if you are a mainstream media website where you have to archive each and every word said, then it's a different case. But as small blogs, we are not into, there are no such restrictions around us. So probably what you can do or what I will do is I'll probably get rid of that content completely, because I would like to keep my blog fresh, updated, and always the content that I have, it should be relevant. So it should not be that somebody stumbles on my blog and say, oh, this page has relevant information. Because I'm losing an opportunity to turn a visitor who has stumbled upon my blog into a regular reader. So I would always like to keep my blog fresh. So if you have stuff on your blog, again, this is my personal opinion, you may differ, but if you have stuff on your blog that's totally irrelevant, just get rid of it. And probably you can redirect all the juice to something more relevant, something which is more related, and I think that will help both the search engines as well as the visitors coming to your blog. So advertising, that's how I think, who has ads on their blogs? Quick show of hands, right? Not many people, huh? Okay. For us, advertising, online advertising is the bread and butter. So when you're having ads on your blog, please think of the reader first and the revenue later, because if you only focus on the commercials, it's very difficult to build a very loyal audience on the blog. Think of it this way: if you have stumbled on a new blog, even when the content is good, but if they're just plastering their site with this ads, you're most likely to leave. So that should be the focus of your own site. The other thing when using ads on your site is only go with reputed ad networks and do not just have any ad network on your site. I would recommend something like Google AdSense or buy-sell ads or blog ads, something, but I would never ever recommend things like Tribal Fusion or Infolinks, because a lot of people use them, but the biggest problem is, like in the case of Tribal Fusion, I know that they serve scamming ads like that will reduce your belly in like 2 hours and stuff like that. Now the problem is, I was reading these Google quality guidelines, and what they say is, in most of the cases, the website owner or the blogger is not aware of what ads are running on their websites. But at the same time, search engines and these search quality guidelines, they hold the webmaster responsible for the quality of the ads shown on their website. Now think of it like this way. Let's say you have a spare apartment in your city. Would you like to sell it? Would you like to rent it to somebody who is running a scam business? Definitely not. Then why lend your space on your blog, which is your identity on the internet, to some scammy website? So that is the reason have only credible advertising networks in your blog. Now, obviously links are the backbone, especially if you have to rank good in Google search engine. If you can develop a practice of generously linking to other websites, that will help both the search engines as well as your visitors. I'll give you a quick example here. Let's take the case of a medical website. So if a medical website has a lot of research on some topic and they have a long page with a lot of research, and there is another medical website with the same topic, with the same content, but what they have done is they've cited the sources, they have linked to all the research papers that they used before publishing this content. Who would you trust more? You would definitely trust the other website that is citing all the sources more. Same goes for search engines, same goes for internet users. They prefer to read content that is well cited, that has an overall picture. So if you can develop a practice of generously linking, that will help. The other advantage of generous linking is when you link to someone, they are most likely to check your website again in the search log. So that is how you grow your network on the internet as well. How is this happening? I'm not. So I don't know, it skipped a few slides. There was a slide called SEO, I don't know why it didn't appear. So I'll talk briefly about SEO as well, because that's very, very important to rank good on search engines. Now, to be very frank, nobody knows how search works. You know that links are important, good content is important, but at the same time, Google says that there are some 200 plus factors that help them rank your pages in search engines. So none of us know what those factors are. That said, there are some basic rules that you've got to follow. If you have seen the Google Webmaster Guidelines, it is a PDF document available on the Google Webmaster Tools. If you can just grab that PDF copy and follow all the rules that are mentioned in that, you are pretty much covered. Other than that, I would suggest a few more things. One is always have a HTML sitemap on your blog. The idea should be that for both search engines and for both human visitors, every single page on your website should not be more than 2 or 3 links deep. If it is more than that, they are probably not going to discover that. The other tip, the SEO related tip I have is always consider interlinking your content, because you have really good stuff sitting in your archives but nobody is seeing them. So what you got to do is you got to link to the stuff, and both search engines as well as human visitors got to see that. Now your every single page on your website has two parts. There is the main content that everybody is coming to your website to read, and then there is the supplementary content. Supplementary content includes things like the sidebar, the footer area, the navigation links, the logo, and everything else. So it's absolutely normal to have both these things in your blog, but from the coding perspective, from the HTML perspective, you should always design your site such that the main content that the person is coming to your blog to read should always be at the top, and rest everything else, supplementary content, should be at the bottom. This helps search engines better understand your website, as well as it also helps Google AdSense like contextual networks to serve more contextual, more relevant ads to your website. Now everybody knows that you don't need to have a separate mobile website and a separate desktop website. So do you guys know about responsive websites? Okay, responsive websites are, you just have one website and it looks good on both desktops, mobile phones, tablets. And there are tons of responsive templates available on the internet that you can just go and upgrade. But the only thing that you need to take care when going for a responsive template on the internet is that it should not be just about any template. Basically what happens is, like, if you have a sidebar and if you have a main content, a responsive template will do is, like, if you're looking on a small screen, they will accordingly shrink the size of both the main content as well as the sidebar so that it fits into the device. I think that's not the right approach, because if a sidebar is really small, it just solves no purpose. What you should have is probably a sidebar. If it is less than 300 pixels wide, just don't show it and put your main content in the center of on the center of the device. This is slightly technical, so we can take it offline if you like. Now Google Analytics, I'm sure everybody is using Google Analytics to analyze how people are coming, how many people are coming to your blog, and what pages are they viewing. But I think these metrics like page views and hits, they do not matter. What really matters is how much time the visitor is spending on your page and what is the bounce rate. That's really important. You've got to know how much time a person is spending on a page and whether they're just coming and leaving. Because if they are just coming and leaving, which means it has a very high bounce rate, that probably means that the person is not finding the content that it is looking for. Maybe your title is painting a wrong picture of what the actual content is, or maybe they don't like your site design or layout, whatever it is, but you've got to improve, you've got to have you've got to reduce your bounce rate as much as possible. You should also focus on improving how much time, the average number of pages that people spend on your website. And for that, I would really recommend the approach that has been followed by these mainstream media websites like Queasy.com or Time.com. So what they've done is, if you're reading something and as you scroll, they automatically load the next page. Now this has really helped them reduce the bounce rate, and there's no reason why you can have something similar for your own website as well. So I was talking about repurposing content. There are so many good channels. There is SlideShare, there is Flipboard, there is iTunes. So what you can do is you can try to have a presence across all these channels. So in my case, like, I have a podcast on iTunes, I have a YouTube channel that is essentially my videos but available in downloadable format. Then I also curate content on Flipboard. Now the good part about these channels is, like, most of our blogs have few 100,000 visitors, but these apps, these platforms have millions of visitors. So you're automatically improving the visibility of your content in these. You're getting an opportunity to showcase your content among so many people. So I think it just makes sense. You can even consider publishing ebooks of your content as Kindle singles, because then you are reaching that big, vast Amazon store as well. Finally, this is very important, especially in the Indian blogosphere. Everybody has a blog, and what really differentiates you from another blogger is your writing skills, your talent, and also your credibility. So it's very, very important that you separate the business side of your blog with the editorial. Also, the blogging world operates on principles of transparency, so there is no reason why that should not be your guiding principle as well. Finally, I have a list of few tools that I highly recommend. You don't have to note them down. You can just send an email. I will send you a copy of my presentation. Basically, you have, if you are just using text content, what you should focus on is making your content more visual. And for that, these tools like Go Animate, Powtoon, and Piston are really, really useful. Then you can also consider publishing your blog as ebooks, and that they really do well because there is an audience for ebooks, maybe not in India, but at least in the global space there is. So these tools like Caliber, Pressbooks, they are really, really good for converting your stuff into ebooks. If you are not from the technical background, I would really suggest that you learn some coding. That would really, really help because it will help you scrap content from the internet. It will help you prevent more. It will help you present your data more beautifully on the internet. So this service called Code Academy is an excellent choice to learn some basic coding. I would recommend Poetica. This is a new service which helps you write, which helps you figure out what all errors are in your writing, and this helps. Then you have tools like Canva and Infogram. They help you make visual assets very easily because images are extremely essential for your blog. Never ever publish a blog post that doesn't have an image because images solve two problems. One, when people share your content on the social media sites, those images will show up. So if somebody is just scanning their news feed, if it has an image, they will probably stop, right? So images help your content stand out in a very crowded news feed. The other very important purpose of an image is it helps you focus the attention of the visitor on a page that you want. So if you have a very long post and it's very boring, what you can have is you can have images around areas that you really want the visitors to see. Also on pages that are really, really long, images help you add visual breaks so the pages don't look very boring. And it goes without saying that you should only use images that you have clicked or are in the public domain, and never ever use stock images because they look really, really bad on blog websites. Finally, these are the books that I recommend for writing. They are really, really good. I have a copy of most of them and I really love referring to them whenever I have a problem. So I would probably recommend you pick one of them as well. These are my coordinates on the internet. You can always follow me or send me an email if you have questions. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.